Now look, today's story is one that shook an entire Maryland community. It's a case that blends family, tragedy, and unanswered questions. I mean, the kind of story that really makes you wonder what goes on behind closed doors. And we're talking about 28-year-old Breante Thomas, who is now wanted for the unaliving of her own grandmother and the attempted unaliving of another family member. Look, y'all sit back and relax and stay until the end of this episode because we about to dive right in. Welcome back to another episode of Eyes Low, Belly Full. As y'all know, this marks episode 150. So on Sunday afternoon in Fort Washington, Maryland, Prince George's County Police were called to check on a home in the 500 block of Bond Hill Drive. And this wasn't some random crime scene out in the city. Now, in Prince George's County, there's quite a few rough parts. Like Oxon Hill, Fort Washington got some rough parts too. But this specific neighborhood, was a suburban neighborhood where residents described it as pretty much quiet, peaceful, and, the type of neighborhood you wouldn't expect yellow tape to be stretched across somebody's yard. But when the officers entered the home, what they found was crazy. You feel me? They found 81-year-old Helen Thomas. I'm talking about a grandmother who should have been enjoying her golden years. She was found unalive with multiple stab wounds. And next to her was a male family member who neighbors says that was Helen's son and Breante's father. He was also stabbed and left critically injured. And he was rushed to the hospital. And according to the last reports, he was listed, critical but in stable condition. Now, the person police believe carried out this attack is none other than Helen's granddaughter, Breante Thomas. And she's now facing charges of first and second degree unaliving, as well as attempted unaliving. And according to the latest reports, she's still on the run. Police say she fled the scene in a white 2012 Volkswagen Passat with Maryland plates. And authorities are warning the public, if you see her, don't try to confront her. Don't try to be a hero. If you see her or that vehicle, you feel what I'm saying? Just call it in immediately.
These are times of distress, times of lawlessness. This right here is 28-year-old Breante Thomas. She's wanted for first and second degree unaliving, attempted first and second degree unaliving, and a whole lot of other charges due to unaliving her 81-year-old grandmother, Helen Thomas. This whole thing took place on September the 14th, this past Sunday at around 1:50 p.m. in the 500 block of Bond Hill Drive.
We're here on the 500 block of Bond Hill Drive in Fort Washington. You can see behind me, it is a quiet, idyllic neighborhood, and neighbors, family members tell me they are shocked and devastated to think about what happened inside this home. It was just before 2 o'clock yesterday when police responded to do a welfare check. They got to the home and discovered a male and female victim with stab wounds. Sources tell Fox 5 the male victim was the suspect's father, and police have confirmed the female victim, 81-year-old Helen Thomas, was the suspect's grandmother. Helen Thomas died at the scene, according to police. The male victim taken to an area hospital in critical condition. This is 28-year-old Breante Thomas. She's charged with first and second degree murder and first and second degree attempted murder. Police are still searching for her at this hour, saying she's in a white 2012 Volkswagen Passat with Maryland plates. And if you see her, call 911 and do not approach her. Neighbors tell us, again, shocked and devastated that there weren't any issues at this home that they were aware of, and saying the Thomas family was tight-knit and a staple of the neighborhood. Promise Himes lives across the street and says Helen Thomas was the sweetest, most neighborly woman, and her thoughts are with this family tonight.
It's sad. I'm trying to hold back tears because it's very emotional, because like I said, she was like an extended family, and just the human element of it, just someone leaving here in such a graphic nature, it's horrible.
Now, here's where the story hits hard. We've all seen tragic stories of violence. You feel what I'm saying? But when it happens within the family, especially involving an elderly grandmother, the emotions hit different. And neighbors describe the Thomas family as normal. Like, this wasn't the type of house or the kind of house you heard loud arguments or seen constant police visits. And that's why the community is rattled. Because if something that brutal could happen in a house like that in a quiet neighborhood, they probably feel like it could happen anywhere. And the victim wasn't just anybody. She was an 81-year-old grandmother. And that detail alone shocked people even more. So let's break down what those charges mean. First degree unaliving means that prosecutors believe that this whole situation could have been planned or premeditated or something like that. Second degree unaliving still allows for conviction even if it wasn't fully planned but intentional. And the attempted unaliving charges come from the stabbing of the male victim who survived, which is her father. Now, stacking these charges gives prosecutors flexibility depending on what they can prove in court. But here's the big question. What was the motive? I mean, so far, police haven't released anything about why Breante might have done this. Like, was it a mental health issue? Was it a family dispute that boiled over? Like, right now, we just don't know. And this is also a reminder of how unpredictable people can be. Like, neighbors thought this was the last place anything violent would happen. But here we are. A grandmother gone, a father fighting for his life, and a granddaughter now wanted on unaliving charges. Now, at the time of this recording, police are still searching for Breante Thomas. They've released her pictures, her car details, and they're asking the public for tips. And this case will likely move fast once she's caught, because Maryland prosecutors do not play when it comes to family-involved violent crimes, especially when the victim was elderly. You feel what I'm saying? Like, she most likely will be spending decades, most likely life in prison if convicted. So what do we make of all this? On one hand, it's a deeply personal family tragedy. And on the other hand, it's a reminder that crime isn't always about strangers lurking in dark alleys. Sometimes the most dangerous situations come from inside the home, where love and trust are supposed to exist. Now, I want to hear what y'all think about this situation. What do you think led up to Breante actually unaliving her own grandmother and almost unaliving her father? Go ahead and let me know in the comments below. And if this video resonated with you, go ahead and hit that like button. Give me a thumbs up and also subscribe and hit that bell notification for more episodes. I'm going to catch y'all in the next one. Peace.